Hey everyone. I want to thank you guys who are coming in. Um, I appreciate those of you that are flexible and can join me whenever I get the energy with my health to come live. So, anyway, uh, thank you for coming in. I'm going to try to read on, hi Beverly. I'm going to try to read on some different topics, but I think to start off, one of the things I did want to talk about was like some spiritually transformative experience that I've had, um, especially while, dealing with health issues. And it has to do with the true nature of our being. And to share it is simple and yet complex. um, but let's just say, that sometimes when I dream, I get yanked out and taken away, and it can be rather disorienting trying to come back into the body. Let me tell you, and especially this one, it's kind of broken, frankly, and painful. But what I wanted to also say is that it's been, you know, a trip that no drug can touch. Um, in what how it blows your mind and makes you more aware, and it's like it's confirmation. It's that confirmation that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up and you get goose flesh. But I had a dream not too long ago, within the last year, and I'd been feeling rather bad and down and down about myself. I was feeling down about having to be ill and not being able to do all the things I was doing, and so on and so forth. And my esteem was just, in the toilet. And I had this dream, and I saw someone, this artist that I really admire, and they they came over and they uh, spoke with me on a telepathic level. And it was so funny because it's like all of a sudden I was in this dark place, right? The way that I could feel it, like I saw it from a numerous, like 360. It's so um, wild. It's just so trippy. Uh, and I see this person, this well-known artist that I like, and they come over and they just start talking to me. They immediately know, what how down I'm feeling, my energy, because my energy is heavy, and they tell me, you don't remember who you are, and I had to stop and think, like, what are they saying? Because this world has such a grip on our senses, on the human mind. We are in a confined state here. And sometimes these little antennas of our spiritual nature, our true nature, hey, cat, kind of pop out. And so I began to be able to fully get and embrace what they were saying. And what he was saying to me was, is like, and as he was saying it to me telepathically, of just the simple thing of remember who you were before you went to earth. And it was like, oh yeah, before I went to earth. And I was like, and I in my state of mind, I would have closed my eyes like this and would have, been thinking, oh yeah, before. And so I'm kind of starting to go inward, and I'm seeing myself as this brilliant light. And it was like I was just beginning, and then I was starting to watch and observe uh, this person looking at various screens, but they weren't showing me what they were looking at. But what I knew was that they were looking at my life. And I didn't care. I was just like, yeah, how about it? And because I was over here pondering and kind of remembering that this is just a side course that we take, and this suit is just a temporary part of our experience, and that we're so much more than this, than the human animal that we come and inhabit the flesh of here. And we just don't remember it because in this world, in order for our, us to make sense of things, we keep it, you know, really kind of rigid of what is, these are the rules and this is how this works and there's no other way. And, you know, and the judgment and the condition of this world is not our true nature. And that's why coming here, you think, oh my God, I don't feel like I belong here. Well, of course you don't. This is just a temporary outing for your soul this lifetime. So that dream was really, really wild. And it just, I'll tell you, it felt like once I began to realize my true nature, our true nature, as it was like so many succinct understandings, just kind of in a basic dream setting of where I am given just a little guidance by somebody that I respect or admire. Um, in a very loving way, they come and they let me know, kind of like somebody would when you're having a bad dream, you know? And it's like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. This is not forever. And so it's kind of like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm this. Uh, and they're like, no, 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 this is not the definition of who you are. You need to remember who you are. And so it was like, oh yeah. And it was like kind of peeling back the layers that were this body is just a layer. And while we're in this layer, uh, this rather painful suit of flesh, you know, we are so busy living. Yes, and this world has its laws that are different than the laws to which we are true to our nature, and it is really stressful to live on this earth. There are the rules of earth, and there are the rules of our beings in spirit. I want to highlight what Isadora is saying here. Thanks. I've got a little congestion. I'm run down a little bit, and I think I probably have a UTI, just fine. So, yeah, we are so busy living, we forget how to be ourselves. We also define that our lives become defined by it. And that's rather sad. We've forgotten how to be like children, and have some joy, that it's okay to be a little childish and lighten up a little bit. And when I begin to see things from this perspective after my dream, it just has been like a revelation after revelation when I watch things. And so when I watch people, especially on social media, and they drag their mess out into the public, oh, it's such a cringe factor. But they take themselves too seriously. They're taking this all too seriously. We're taking, in many respects, these lives too seriously. And then not where we need to be seriously, not enough. And many of us already know that. But there is a point where you take yourself too seriously. And I think we can become too rigid, I guess is the point. And we lose the flow. We lose our rhythm. And I think many more of us are beginning to awaken and have these things, because the other set of dreams I've had were about awakening. And this was right before COVID. There was a number of dreams I was beginning to have that were those dreams. But one of them was where we were telling people to wake up, that something was coming. And it was super lucid, and I was being able to see through houses and seeing that there were parties going on and seeing people were getting drunk. And I was just thinking, how are these people wanting to even party or get drunk when there's something horrible happening? And this was right before COVID hit. And so, hey J Lo, hey JR, and Cecil. And yes, you did. Oh my gosh, it's late where you're at on the East Coast, Cecile. And JR, J Lo, thank you for coming in. So what was I saying? Oh, sorry. Um, darn. Well, anyway, somebody can cue me. Anyway, my husband came in as well in the background. It kind of threw me off. But anyway, these dreams, I was going through this cycle right before COVID. That was it. And seeing people partying, that's right. And thinking, what on earth? This doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like I'm literally taking craziness. The COVID party. Yeah. And so when, oh my God, when people started having COVID parties, I could have peed my pants. And I just, oh, it's just so weird to have that, and it's eerie. And it was just, these things were just nailing it. It was like, oh my God. So like, okay, it's like telling spirit, okay, you got my full attention. I'm listening. I'm trying to, to listen, to hear. So if you guys are having those dreams, pay attention. Don't shoo them. Write them down. Chances are they'll be so lucid you won't forget them. And so then I had another one of COVID, and it was this black wind of death, and you could see the outlines almost like ashy, like of different earthly forms of beings that had passed. And I was seeing actual. I saw a dog, and I thought, what the hell? And I did see like some domestic pets. There was a dog, and I think there was even a few cats that I may have seen. But mostly, what I saw was like, as far as what stood out to me, besides human beings of all different backgrounds and global, was a dog. And I was like, wow. And then I was shown something that was going to like just thoroughly move over the earth. And it was that thing COVID hit in 2020. So we're on point, and we need to pay attention and, just keep making good choices. Trust your instinct, trust your intuition. Don't throw away and set aside dreams like that if you're getting them, because you're being, woken up. And remembering who you are is part of waking up. Now, chances are you've known that you're more than this suit of flesh, but there's something more to it, and perhaps I can't convey it so well. But it's this wondrous form of light that is so, you feel so at ease. You're it's nothing like being in a human body at all. It's a completely different form of intelligence and awareness, and it does have a human aspect that it can bring through. But it's also more than just an earthly human being. It's more than that. And we're more than that. We're more than this little human. Hey, newbie. Hey, kitty cat black. I like the emojis. Those are cool. So I just wanted to share that. And I've always meant to share more about those dreams, because those dreams are not just for me to keep and not share, and that's to tell you to trust your instinct and take care and do what you need to do to protect your health, because this is a very serious thing. And yeah, hey, Ron, we're not going to just get rid of it overnight. And we still haven't. There's right now still a very high number of people being hospitalized. And when I went to one of my doctor's appointments here recently, I had to wear a mask. So they put back in their mandate at that office. So that was Interesting. Oh, I want to highlight J-Lo's comment. Okay, on a beach in Maine, I was meditating. My sister interrupted me saying, oh, that uh, my sister interrupted me saying my breathing off is off. Okay. All I said was, something wicked this way comes, and look now. Oh, yeah. And it was totally that kind of vibe. Because it was like I was in the midst of the center of a tornado. And that's why it scared the hell out of me. But this whirlwind that was dark, and it was all these different, and it had a sound. Um, and that was in 2016. Yeah, see, we've been getting these dreams to get us to awaken. I'm sure of it. And to pay attention. It's kind of like things are heating up. Take note, take it seriously. Um, so I want to make sure, at least if nothing else, that I share with you what I experienced, and that you take it seriously and look out for yourselves and your loved ones and your friends as much as you can. You know, you can't control everybody, unfortunately. If only that were that simple. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let me get some water here. I'm going to go ahead and segue into the next set of topics. But, you know, if you want to share in the commentary, if you had dreams or anything like that that you get, feel free for sure. Because sometimes you think, okay, how am I going to share this? And sometimes people make an Instagram account or something like that. That's a good way. If you know, you don't feel up to doing a whole channel and everything, I can surely understand that. Oh, I got a new deck recently. I think it has a kind of a glowy effect. It's kind of creepy. It's for the darker readings. And it is Mildred Payne's Secret Pocket Oracle. Oracle. Bleh, 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 and it's a seance edition. Anyway, you can get them on Etsy. And this one has, I hope I didn't throw away that bag. Oh, I didn't. Good, good, good. Because it has the card pamphlet that comes with it for the meanings and little layouts and stuff. And this is like a deck that's basically symbolic. Here you have fetus, that, you know, like that's new starts, that kind of thing. Let's see, I've got to look at her thing. Yeah, new beginnings, developing possibilities, new responsibilities. But of course, if you were, you know, reading on a pregnancy or something, this thing can come up, of course. Where in this world art thou, dearest? Oh, I'm sorry. I am in the Bay Area. I am along the coast near San Francisco, and it's probably about 50 something degrees outside right now, which for the rest of you, it sounds probably heavenly. And I can't complain. I can't complain. I won't complain. I've been reading about where I grew up, St. Joseph, Missouri. That reminds me, I got to call my dad, that it is just like ice world, you know, cold. So please make sure that you guys are safe and have your store filled up. And for power outages, that's what I dread, because my bed depends on it. I've got, it's supposed to be like reduces pressure, but I don't know. Anyway, here's a few more cards of the Mildred Payne deck. And this one is Bell. So just going to throw that in there real quick too. I'll be using this deck tonight. I'm just breaking it in. So but I'm going to begin to look at extremism in the world. Now, we've been seeing it causing so much division. And, you know, it's like, I don't know about you, but it's like, I saw it happening in America with our politics, and then I saw it grow influence. I think there like a tide, in and just seems like the radicalism has like toxicity turned up to 11, and it something has got to give at some point. I know that stuff will peak and can ebb. Of course, we can always affect that with our free will collectively. And the fact that there actually are more good people in the world than these folks that have gone off their trolley, is a good thing. So even though you get those, dreams that can scare the, hockey sticks out of you, just know that it's not to like doom. It's not about that. It's just to awaken you to the fact that, yeah, there's some serious things coming around, and just you're going to need to hold on to your hat and trust your instincts. And the extremism is still holding on, which I'm not surprised. I think that it's kind of got to work its way through as a phase, and we need to process this, because I see reports from a number of cities that downtown areas are losing businesses and stuff, and a lot of people aren't doing well. The majority of folk are trying, but the work, and if you're not exactly young, and even if you are, it's still very weird, and doesn't feel particularly stable. Pretty snowy in the Montreal area. Lovely, says Kitty Cat Black. And Cat, hi, Ron. Ron saying they got snow there. Too hot for you, huh? Oh, God. We have a high of, a whole 9 degrees, and it feels like -8. Lovely. I remember that. The scary thing was trying to get out the front door to your car. I remember that, and like, oh my God, you could break your arm. I remember many friends just breaking their arms in parking lots by just trying to get to their car because there was an ice, storm. Oh my God. And that was in Kansas. I lived in Missouri and Kansas for a while. In the 80s. Okay. So I'm going to look at the question of extremism. Let me change my banner to, and by the way, if you would, please give a thumbs up when you pop in, and just to help me with my algorithm, I would really appreciate it. So here we go. There we go. Extremism in the world. That is so I can keep on track. Hey, Charlie. Hello. It's nice to have you. I will try, Ron. My energy right now is really up and down. And please don't take it badly if I don't, because it's nothing personal. I'm likely in a puddle of my own slobber, asleep. But I will try, because I definitely would enjoy that. I would. So I will try. And I'll double check your community tab for info. Just make sure you post it there. I can't believe how many people aren't good with their community boards. It's like, dang, you know what? I worked hard to get that community board. You guys need to make use of it. I post all the time in mine. I'm sure people are like, I just figure if there's something people don't like, that they'll scroll down and look at something else. Maybe they do. So who knows? But that's what it's there for. So I like to share. So what I'm looking at is extremism in the world, and where we're at with that, with what we're seeing with America and the Democratic and the polarization politically. Oh, Saturday, February 3rd. I hope I can. I got to get this another surgery figured out, but I will certainly try on a Saturday. And let's see, you're East Coast, you're Montreal, right? Quebec. All right. So I asked Spirit to guide me, especially since maybe it's good to have my brain a little bit in the off switch. Yeah, my Virgo brain that wants to analyze everything, but I need that obsessive little brain, that obsessive little human monkey brain that I have. And yes, my Chinese sign is an earth monkey. That's what makes me laugh. It's like that figures. All right. There's something to these things, you guys. I don't know. Rita, thank you. I'm so glad that you caught us live too. All right. So, what does Spirit want to tell us? The long suffering of the earthly world. What will you tell us about how we can and what most likely to happen given the course of current events? What can we do to really bring a positive change as needed? And we ask you for your help to guide us in that way, because we recognize our free will to F it all up. All right. Let's see. What about extremism going on in the world do we need to know? Is that going to cool down, or is it still heating up? I want to really get these cards shuffled, you guys. All right. Because honestly, I don't know how long I'll be able to go, but I'm going to give it my best shot. All right. We're getting definitely clarity, a card of the Ace of Swords on this matter. And this feels like a crackdown on extremism. Yeah, I'll have to dig out my cat ears, Rod. Ottawa. Ottawa in the house down here with Kitty Cat Black. It's a good time for those who have, it's a good time to go hit the like button. There you go. I like that. Oh, okay. So anyway, let me see here. I meant to put that one on. Yeah. Helps to keep me on topic, because trying to read and do this is like trying to go fly a kite. You're up in the air as the kite, and you're down on the ground as well when you're trying to read. So it's such a strange challenge to occupy an intuitive space and to try to manage a live stream at the same time. All the readers in here will know and laugh. Okay. I begin to shuffle the cards again. Oh, well, I guess it needed to happen. So I'm getting a stronger stance toward it. But look, it's going to peak. It's still not done. It's still not done coming down. We're getting there, though, with that Ace of Swords. Let me see what else. It just, there's going to be sudden collapse of, I think, where women are concerned, their well being. And we've already seen that in the likes of the southern states and what's happened for women. But this carries a message about women's health, you guys. Um, that comes up, and extremism. It's this global example. It's not just in America, but that's going to give. This is literally saying the time of consequences is at hand, and the floor gives way, and you get a lightning strike to your crown. And it's also when you have continued to build your life upon a lie. And what you've done is created something that isn't right and it needs to be corrected. And so basically, you get a reset button. And I just feel when I see this Queen of Pentacles, it's talking about women's rights, women's health, especially maternal health needs protection. And I think we're going to see a lot more action happening globally. And I think in the States, it's going to come around the abortion issue. Probably get a YouTube censor for that, but I think that will come back up, and people are very passionate. But now they've just gone just ridiculous, and it's good that the grand jury had some sense in that woman's case. God bless her. Okay, we get the Empress. So again, women and children, especially babies, are highlighted. The earth itself, but women especially. And I think crimes against women. And often women and children are the victims of these crimes. Where extremism, a bear's having her nightly howl. Anytime my youngest goes out, she gets a little bit upset. So I also feel like this is women coming together to defend women's health care and that of children. That really, there needs to be, society really needs to support its mothers and children and little children. And it should be that we have something in place. That's just would really be a truly civilized society. We don't have a civilized society. I think many of us realize that. That was the joke, that when you hit 13 and you realize, the the world you're living in is not what you thought as a child. That really has such a feminine strength of energy with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress and the Knight of Wands. So I also think that it's dealing with assaults upon women, and not only our rights but also our literal bodies and our health, and where domestic violence and things like that happen too. So it looks like there is a tide growing, I think, by many women, but especially mothers, that real Earth Mother feel with that Queen of Pentacles. It's shameful is what I'm getting when I look at them. It's shameful how women are treated, especially women of color, the Earth Mothers, and so women's needs and that of children are not well met in our society at all. it's rationed out in some weird way that's very that does not help society, does not help your society in a sensible way. Everyone wants to scream, "You're a communist." It's like, no, this is just certain things should be in place in every society, the well-being of the women and the children and the elderly, just basic civil, like the healthcare, um, Knight of Cups and strength. This is, you know, looking at, I think, how to curb the extremism. I think we're looking at more studies to do with the emotional issues of why people find it satisfying to go to that extreme. And I do. I feel like they're going to look how to counter that already. They probably already have been, of course, and I'm just kind of coming onto the scene and throwing some cards and like I know something. But it looks like the Knight of Cups and strength to me is something very positive, and it's, I think, teaching certain people how to keep their hands to themselves, you know, especially where women are concerned. And here we have the card of strength and the woman in the lion, and she's, in charge. No means no. you know I'm afraid that we have definitely had to have this conversation again, apparently, because they just don't want to honor basic rights. It's sad. And so they've turned us backward, and yeah, we are rehashing this stuff over, and I think we're going to continue to, but it looks very promising if we can have more juries take that kind of approach as the grand jury did in that one woman's case, because it is extremism and you get it against women. And it does look like there's going to be implemented. Well, it looks more like they're studying our crazy behavior, but there's going to be a reaction. There's going to be a response, because I just think also people in society are just tired of the tightrope, of feeling like, is there going to be a shooting? Is there going to be, if I go there, is there it's anxiety ridden if you let it get to you like that, and you just can't live that way. You need to go and live your life, you don't want to, what's that saying, be so swept up by this world, because remember, it's temporal. So looking at extremism, just want to look at some more cards on it. Wow, we just keep getting that Earth Mother card. Maybe also looking at what is going on to the planet itself and the extremes showing up there. Probably, I would presume, more activity uh, regarding the environment. But here's a good thing, because I read in pairs. Oh, hi, Bora Bora. So we get the Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So I think there's going to be allies, Earth Mother allies. This is very good. This is very, like, keep that star energy, that star card energy of hope out there, because, like, this is something that needed to be readdressed, and to have it, sorted out. The various cause of extremism, and what pushes people toward doing this to women, and that would be men in society. Sorry, and what's going on with that. It's become such a sick society that they're doing just crazy stuff. Long story short, I think we all know. And it's not all, you never want to be foolish and brushstroke everyone in the same, but a lot of, like, I see it even just in the content of many YouTube videos. Just having a gander through is like straight up misogyny. And it's like, whoa, it's like someone's mad. But generations of men who resent women having rights is dying off. Yeah. And there's younger folk that have a more balanced opinion. But unfortunately, there are some even amongst the younger generation that hold that kind of old school machismo in place. And it's not the first time that that kind of a card, as the machismo kind of energy, has come up like it did there. Yeah, it's where you make people feel stuck, or people don't think that they can get themselves out of this way of thinking, but they can with the magician. This is also manipulation to control. Like taking hostages, things like that. And that's something extremist groups do. There, what was it? There was a, what was a governor in Minnesota? Was it Michigan? I can't remember. Um, they wanted to kidnap. We had extremists here that wanted to kidnap her, and all around the world, these different groups, the common denominator. And unfortunately, I really think women pay and children pay the price. And just like these wars and this stupid stuff. But I think this is with the hostages and things like that, we're going to deal with, excuse me, more issues, I think, with hostage situations. I think both people, that take hostages and people that have to work with mediation, working together, I think, to change that. And especially men that don't think that way. And, they've got their hands full right now because there's a lot of extremists in the women's area too. It's like, oh my God, like Marjorie Taylor Greene is bananas. It was Michigan. Thank you, Tammy. My brain, like when I start to think that other people are actually listening to me, it goes, wow, that's weird. And I freak out a little bit. It makes me a little nervous, but I appreciate someone being able to fill in the gap. Yeah. That was crazy. And I kind of felt like that situation in Michigan was just kind of, like a blipped over in the news. I thought, oh my God, they were going to, take her hostage. You got to take these people seriously. These people are, I don't think people are paying attention, and we need to. So what we're doing right now too is, having been talking earlier about the true nature of our being, and realizing what we're here doing, is helping humanity to kind of overcome their lower vibe energy. And boy, is it a mess. Boy, did we take on some real interesting times to be in. But here we are. And so I feel like we are getting our allies, and we're addressing, especially perhaps like hostage like issues taken by extremists. I feel like a maternal influence is necessary, but it becomes hard when people don't even respect that. And that, is unfortunately what's going on. Yeah, because, we are all one. Why would you do this to yourself? Like, at the end of the day, do you understand that this is just not the right route? You know, it's ridiculous. What else do we get? Uh, well, we can expect more. Sorry about the background here, but we can expect more like spying, and I'm getting like secretive. It's dirty work, and this makes me feel like they're also trying to hide more, because the more we go to reach and address extremism, especially toward women and women's health around the world, not just here in America, but that is what really needs to happen. But look at the darkness. Woo, that card, that spying card really wants to jump out. So to me, it's almost like extremism is trying to hide a bit, hide under the cover of darkness. And I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, honestly. So just a word to your mother, just know that when you hear that, and you hear, well, you will hear about awful things. Um, and sorry, I cannot stand to have unmoisturized lips. You're going to hear about that. But it's also a way of dealing with the issues for us as human beings as these things come up and we deal with them. And they are going to come up. But on a positive note, I do see that as these things happen, there becomes a growing awareness of greater allied people, because, and now people are more aware to the cause. But wow, not fun to go through, not fun to live through, living around extremists. And that can be anyone from the dude that gets in trouble for having a house full of explosives that you didn't know about down the street. And that's happened in this town. That could have blown his neighborhood sky friggin' high. Then the FBI like friggin' came out and big to do in this little coastal community outside of San Francisco. But it was crazy. You know, that's an extremist. Nobody needs to have that amount of explosives, okay? You just don't. I can understand if you want to have a gun, but be responsible. I'm from Missouri originally, but I'm also spent now just more time in Northern California, and I just think it's common sense. You know, it's a weapon. You use it with responsibility, and no, young people need to be supervised. All this stuff, and nobody's doing that. Nobody is doing that. So there's this extremism in varying forms. Yes, well, that's just the problem. Crazy people never. And here's the good way that that if you're worried, if you're crazy, you're probably not, because if you think you're sane, then you're probably crazy. Yeah, if you follow me. Good evening, Candle Goddess. What a beautiful emoji. And Tammy Eldridge, I did want to make sure. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, that's a shame, Isadora. I'm so sorry that you've had to do that. Oh, there we go. My sister is one of them. I've had to cut off all contact. Yeah, and it's just like this. When is this extremism going to kind of is it going to kind of peak and die out a bit, or are people just going to be stuck that way? And I think some people, the honest answer is some people will move on and some people won't. And always hold out hope and send out prayer to your folks that you're estranged from, that they'll realize it wasn't worth the loss of their family, you know, and that they'll see the truth, more importantly, that this person that they've got very weird with and wanted to say is an anointed of God, who this man who would fart on the Bible at any given opportunity as soon as read it. Um, but it's really not about being a real Christian anyway. It's about being the appropriate. What a bunch of humanity is weird in the way that it wants to be able to. It really enjoys judging people, others. It's so interesting. You know, if you ever just sat back, I'm sure you have, especially with the development of social media, um, of where you see people going back and forth, and you just think, what the hell? This is just a waste of time. But you see, these people just are not going to. They're not going to move on it. They they've bought in. They've drunk the Kool-Aid. So I just want to see if there's going to be more. But the good news is, too, there was a woman I saw that had been arrested. You've probably seen it too in the news headlines, because I don't watch my news. I read the headlines, maybe play a few videos of it. I'll put it up there. But I would like to see if that is going to begin to shift. And I feel like, okay, I do know what the answer is. I do know the answer is yes, because like I was saying, there was a woman that got arrested for January 6th, and she was kind of an older lady in her, I think in her 60s or so. Not that old, because I'm not far behind, with all due respect. But she totally ended up regretting her involvement. And I thought, well, if nothing else, there's that. And she sees that he's not going to suffer one bit. And you know, so there's hope. There's hope that more will awaken from the delusion. And you got to remember that too when you see all the different tweaked up news and stuff now, that there's no real news anymore. It's so strange. You know, you've got to really kind of look between the lines as far as like media is concerned, general media. The good news is, though, there is more independence, ones that are sprouting up. You just have to look like the hermit. You have to look a little deeper. It's always worth doing. So I want to look at extremism in the United States, and if that is going to continue to moderate its way to balance. How it looks like what is before us, you know. Well, look at that. Smug old dudes. We need to look at the men behind that foster and support it, that get the others to carry out these extreme behaviors, just like Trump exhorting people to do damage to their own capital, which is very shameful. And we have to realize and kind of rip the shades off their eyes to help them to see what it is. And that is, you're being, you know, puppeted here. You are a sheep to this foul human being. Wake up. You don't want, you know, you're acting, you literally an ass for this guy. You're his clown. And that goes not just to one, to all these oppressive types of men, particularly that have experience on them and have gotten into a position of power and authority. Um, this is also going to be a year of reckoning. That's another thing I've been getting with my readings this year. The energy of, and you've already seen it come in with a hot take with the things like P. Diddy, that's just the water temperature getting started. But we're going to continue to have news coming out. Weinstein and all of that was just like the beginning of shaking the dirt out of Hollywood. Yeah, and then they get very diluted. So there's something about peeling back the layer and showing, I think, being able to show there's a smugness here at hand behind extremism in the world, period, and usually with older men, often fathers, but it's ego. It's ego driven. And that makes sense because maturity would be moderation. And there wouldn't be this smug extreme with 9 cups. Just a thought. All right, what else? Getting the Magician again and the 8 of Swords. It's about them also changing their mindset and looking at taking control of their own thinking process, not being so easily brainwashed that they don't even realize that they're brainwashed. That goes for anyone that's a radicalized. There shouldn't be that kind of, especially where violence is part and parcel and stepping all over other people and claiming them as collateral damage. No. Especially for what is happening in Gaza and other parts, it's like, stop. Think about the people there that are just your everyday citizen that can't get out. And we got old men, playing their games. But it's people's lives. And this is like how, this is trying to get the support out from underneath them by encouraging more, I think, reveal, more truth. And yeah, you're not going to get everybody, but you will get more people to think for themselves. You will get some more people out of that sector that would normally perhaps not be open to that, be open to it. And it's really about who's controlling you. Are you controlling you? Are you in control of how you express yourself, how you think, or are you being controlled? It is helping, I think, those vulnerable to the message of radicalization. They're also targeting many times angry, young, disaffected youth that are naive. We have the Hanged Man, and it's letting us know that there's hope. There's hope, and we are moving in the right direction. This is with the Hanged Man. There's perhaps it's not as moving as quickly as we would like. There is a slow, it seems like a cease of movement. And at present, it is as it seems. But it's for the realization of a different perspective. We have to look at it from another point of view. And it's more of an above point of view, if you will. We have to go within. And we have to remember our true nature. Remember the spiritual light that I was talking about in the beginning, about who we are in truth? And get out of these games that people try to, in this world, throw at us. I think that would also be helpful if more people knew the truth. Um, this energy's got to shift. And I think it is going to gradually do it. I think more people will become disillusioned that actually survive it. Hmm? I think they themselves will feel traumatized by it enough. And I think there's also like mental breakdown at some point too, where it's just if you don't know how to think for yourself, you could have a breakdown. You know, it's I think these people become too susceptible to be overwhelmed because they're that's another thing to consider that I never thought about. Thanks, cards. Because that extremism, you know, is way out of line. So we're getting a moment's pause, and it's actually good to make us aware of like, we don't want this. This is not the way. We need to stop for a minute here and think about this and look at it from another perspective. Um, and to perhaps give the youth, especially that are so impressionable, whether they want to believe it or not, um, but they're right at that age where they want to become more of an adult and they're looking for identity and living a life that has meaning. And many times they're not in a great position. Yes, right here. Thank you, Tammy. I'm glad this community has been really helpful. It's very good. I think there's like I said, there's many more good people that are out there in the world than these extremists. But that's another thing we need to remember, especially if it gets us down. But look, there's hope. And this also says we're going to get people to rethink. So we just have to keep working away and keep praying for people to awaken and become aware as well with this card. Oops, sorry. You know, maybe they'll have a dream, you know? We just never know how God is going to work through people and awaken people and make the way better. Hey, nice to see you here. And you, Cecile. Yes, the thing about extremists is they eventually turn on each other. That's true. They collapse because there's such a hostility to that energy. It's that Five of Wands energy where they're all like hitting each other with sticks. You know, eventually that level of chaos is going to just collapse. It won't be sustained. It's kind of like there's an old-fashioned saying: "What the devil can't create." Or sustain something made. I don't know. I probably am not getting it conveyed across right, but I got the idea. And the fact is, certain things, you know, people gonna realize it's not it's not been a good thing, but they've got to see past whatever it is that makes that extremism so alluring, that sense of power. And I think that for many people, the bottom line is a sense of frustration and power. And that's why they're attracted to, like, it's almost like joining a gang, really, you know? I'm saying all the words that YouTube just loves. But I do see that we're going to get more movements towards women and women being able to take care of their children, even if, because a lot of women are single mothers, this kind of thing. And just educating people. And as people begin to find that and we're seeing it now, more people are going to the food banks and things like this, you know, there have to be changes made in society. And extremism, again, isn't just somebody with a political cause. We're seeing it everywhere. It is, well, I'd say it is political. but it's born rather, I think, out of definite insecurity and feeding upon the vulnerability of other people that are frustrated and, you know, wanting attention. And that's what I just think about a lot of people that something extreme appeals to. You know, you got to wonder about that gang mentality or mob mentality. Yeah. And we've been seeing that over, I'm telling you, that this mob mentality has got to be studied in history and in human history right now, because it's at one of those high points. And I think, as Cecile was saying, the good thing and the hope as the star card that we got is that to have hope, because eventually these groups collapse. Eventually they do. And they can last a while, but they're going to collapse. And some of them sooner, I think, especially where if there is the support and the environment for change. Like in the States, there is the environment to create change yet, despite what's happening to women's health and stuff in this country. They're testing the waters, and they're trying to make these changes and keep them. But I think they're going to find, if and I hope that it will maintain, that we get more people like in the grand jury that was, you know, called for this woman uh, to say no, you know, this is ridiculous. And why are we having a grand jury about this? This is traumatizing to this person. Um, I think that we are fortunate to have the environment where we can do that, where other women all around the world, they will not have that yet in their society built in. But it still looks like they're still going to have women changing and confronting things, but at it, you know, met with great violence still. And it will be about respecting each other. It's that's part of the problem. And we legitimately do have people in power that don't listen and allow things to fester, and so that doesn't help. Yeah, look, I get the devil, so bleh, devil. You know, this is the oppressive arsehole that makes everyone's life crap. It's also can be that robs you of self-esteem and caring for yourself, and that can be an addiction, so on and so forth. But this is also just an abuse of power, and that's what extremism is. So it's going to be changed. Let's see what we get. And I do see women, so I was shown mostly like earth mother types of folks that are, I think, pro environment. And I mean, it makes sense. Vote blue for sure. We want to, that's why it's important for America to, and I'm not saying, you know, but in the world, it does matter where there's more rights for women to turn stuff back around than many other countries. It could, and we don't want to lose that. So we need to definitely think about how we vote, even if you don't, you know, live in a state where that is valued. Do it anyway. You know, it's important that you send a message and have that recorded with your vote, because my sense is there's more people that are not happy with that than we think. And so there's hope. Let's see, how about I ask what we can do to help shift this extremism in the world? What is a practical thing that we just don't think of? I'm asking Spirit to help me see something here in the cards that I can pass along that we can all do and feel like, okay, that's a little to the collective pot and turning the tide of energy. Well, I think it is by your support. And also, that means your hard earned money. And that's unfortunately the passage here yet in this world. But it is speaking to the greater support, the support of certain things, and you might support it with your life. Many people do. They die for a cause, unfortunately, because people aren't doing what they should be doing and they have a medical issue. This is a very big, familiar story across the states. Yes, it is a choice. It can be. And it's like if you want what the devil has to offer, yeah. We have to show our support, though. We have to show our support for, I think, creating a different dialogue, and focusing and getting it out there, whether it's by contributing to something on social media, because even I don't care what they want to say. Actually, social media is pretty powerful these days, and it can be used for a really good way to make more people, despite all the trolls and all the crap, aware and think, yeah, you know what? I need to make sure that I'm supportive. But it's where you put your support for different people that deal with this, enforcement, shall we say, of keeping extremism down. And that will mean, the people that elect laws, that we elect that pass laws and things like that. This is also about it. I feel like prison time. I think there's people that should look at doing time or a longer new laws for and time for people that create some form of, let's say, of an event with extremist crap attached. This has got to be handled with now in a different way. We can't just have this same old thing going on where we're just stuck. So we have to create change so that we don't have this I'm stuck in a rut type of thinking with the eight of swords, because you can't say that you're ignorant. You can't continue to say you can't see or can't understand something. So there is, I sense a lot that can be changed, because it's a new beginning with that Ace of Pentacles. It's a powerful seed, and it is something you can each go out in the world and just, even if you see a comment on social media and say, you know, I don't think that's correct. That's really seems extreme, and you just correct the narrative, so to speak. Because a lot of people get swept up, unfortunately. They don't have critical thinking skills. And by being a voice of reason, drop a comment, for real. Because it might help people to see a different point of view. And so it's where you put your support. You can do it in a number of ways. I think that more people are indifferent toward women. Look at that. And I think also the indifference toward women is really behind a lot of this extremism. It's indifference to also the land that supports you and your system. It's so strange, it doesn't even make sense. So it comes down to that. Isn't that interesting? It's a denial of the feminine. It's a suppression of the feminine. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to take control of everything, including your ovaries. You will be treated like, my chattel, because I'm so insecure I can't stand for you to have freedom. And then they don't respect the woman anyway because she doesn't have her own opinion. So that's interesting. It's showing us misogyny as a core factor in extremism. Why am I surprised? All right, just a few more cards on this. But I see an energetic feminine socket to him coming. And it's going to come in fast when it does. And I think there's going to be, this is interesting, more women coming forward and, like, I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. This is bull stuff, and standing up to things that aren't right. That's definitely women having to come in. Look at that. Look at the melee. They think having a good time is by being violent and having a war. That's what gets them off, the extremists. They want to see. I just got a vision of like Rome, with the brutality of when there were people thrown out there to the, Christians and stuff, to the lions, and all of that, and that crazy stuff. The Colosseum, it's very low vibe. And this has got to be shifted, because that's what's holding this world over, is this very petulant attitude. And the weird thing is, we're being shown that it's behind, who is behind it? Older, established men. So we have to keep resisting. Yeah. We figure that much. It is absolutely true, because look what's happening. And, at least if they do stupid stuff, we have to go down fighting, And I mean that in a nonviolent way. You can't just allow them to get away with it. And we're fortunate that we could, if the lights go out here, let's put it that way, how then much worse will it be for the rest of the world? We've got to really up our game. So let's see. That's right. Queen of Wands doesn't play stupid games. She will slap the words right out of your mouth. She's that auntie. She will be like, no. She has a wand. And she's much more hot-blooded. I will get on to the next topic. All right. Let's see. I wanted to look at, for 2024, the front of disease and how things look. Like after COVID, I don't like surprises. And it really wasn't. I was warned, as we know, but it's like I want to I want to watch. I want to do my part that the dream was about. Watch and be aware, you know? And don't be silly about injections. Some people have to have them. If you want to risk your own health without getting vaccinated, that's up to you. But then don't go outside in the public where many other people have to go. Don't be a jerk about it. It's not hard. I don't like wearing the masks either, but when you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And I do think it's without question much better than going without a mask. Oh, it's not effective wearing that mask. Oh, okay. Um, it may not be as effective as I would like it to be, but short of being able to put myself in a hazmat suit, um, it's going to have to do while I run an errand or go to the doctors or whatever. I think it does matter. I don't know. I think the weird thing too is that people now got to also like constantly be contrary. It's like if you put something out there, it's just like there's somebody's got to. I'm going to pick that apart. It's like, huh? Weird things about the internet. All right, let's take a look at spirit. I want to ask you to help me see anything we need to be aware of on the front of general global health, like issues with any new diseases that might drop or get worse. What do we need to be aware of for the year of 2024? I hope you don't mind me being casual tonight. I know I've gone over an hour, but I wanted to make sure I did it at a time when I could relax and I would have one less person in the house. All right. What do we need to be aware of? Health-wise. Okay, we're getting the Two of Swords. That's interesting. And the Page of Wands. That's giving me some vibes right there. There's some sort of inertia. Something's kind of blocked. There's also planning. I think it's important it's important to stay proactive and not be in denial about symptoms. Get them checked out, that kind of thing. But as far as globally, right now, I think we still are dealing with the small aspects that are, not I say small, but I mean like the mutants of COVID that have broken off that cause the temperature with the fever and that kind of thing. So I'm getting a few messages there. It's like, don't deny your care and make sure that if you feel something, go get like preventative care. There's a message of preventative care there. And like earlier on with that Page of Wands, that's what I'm getting. I'm also getting here with the Seven of Pentacles and the Hierophant that this is the continuation of the COVID situation. And that to keep an eye on it because it's continuing to pop up. And I think that this is also more health leaders, coming forward, the different nations with the numbers that are attached to people that are being ill from certain variants. And to me, this is like a composite of variants. Now, right now, I feel that we've got a much more heightened group of people behind the scenes in various nations with that 10 of Pentacles. And we're very fortunate for that, to keep an eye on the situation and on various ages as well. Elderly people, various different folks around the world, certain areas. I think COVID has got more people aware and awake because it also affects money. And we get that with the 7 of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles, because it's like someone that's trying to also financially not only keep their health, of course, but being able to work. And that's also where a lot of people get sick. But I do see it's being watched more thoroughly. That makes me feel pretty good. But there's still like, be caution, this year, because there is some, it's showing right now, I think with COVID, that's branching off. Let's see, did I do something? There we go. But I'm really pleased to see that. It looks like, however, there could be something that comes along that could affect young children. And that's concerning. With the 2 of Pentacles, something that's like would have a rapid onset, up, down. And certainly, as far as it being of the past, with this 6 of Cups as well, it can be something about the past. I think there is the message that we're keeping a closer eye. We're keeping a much closer eye. And that's being more supported by business. So they're watching the community, who's getting sick, whatnot. We have that information. But I think for children, I would say, when I look at this with caution, that there's something that could be bothersome. And maybe with the fluctuation, with the, with the rapid change in weathers and stuff, especially when people all have to be breathing the air. Oh, thank you. I feel a little goofy. I'll say that. I'm not 100 right now, but I'm definitely enjoy doing. It's just so much that intuitively, also with these cards, I'm just getting about young children and their vulnerability, and that something could affect them. So that needs to be looked at. And I'm getting the Queen of Wands and the Empress. So your health is your wealth, man. I feel like there's a woman also that's proactive energy. So about trying to keep us well. And I think that we need to make sure that we're listening and taking seriously when they tell us to mask up, frankly. So we got to remember, hey, you can change this scene, because I do think there's different variants and flu out there with these cards. And I think they affect people of variety of ages, people already, various ages, getting sick and stuff. And so if you've got grandma, maybe when you go visit her, wear a mask, Ah, this is interesting. There is a respiratory illness going around that is hitting children. Yeah, this is a warning. And bad habits can also create bad health that spreads and other people get it. And the Three of Swords can also be about poor health. It can be about surgery, but in this case, I'm not getting that. In this case, I'm just getting about the misery and the suffering, and the chaos of illness, and just feeling oppressed with an illness. So I really feel that coming on the heels of the children, like, we got to definitely watch them. I would say, like, especially with the children on there, are the grade schoolers and of course the toddlers, of course infants, just like, no, that's just not, just want to look over those cards. Yeah, that's not what you want. And also having to walk away. There might be people that you have to keep away from. There might be a time where we have to watch about spreading the disease. And again, I'm feeling like a lot of this is the respiratory stuff. I wonder how long did the government know about COVID before they told us? I think years. I think that we're lucky that they acted as quickly as they did, because some places took a lot longer. But look who was in charge, frightening before that. And the treatments of, what was that stuff for malaria? And I'm not talking his wife. Dun-dun-dun. I would definitely do proactive things. It looks like what the message is: be proactive, use your common sense. There might be a time where, we're being definitely looking at who, staying away if you're contagious. I think I just get the words asymptomatic. Also, you might be asymptomatic, but somebody else, what doesn't affect you might affect someone else. And the cups remind me of the water of the breath, when we sneeze, when we cough, when we talk, you know? Yeah, he knew about it. He wanted to make money off of it. Isn't that disgusting? Good Lord. So the good thing is, it looks, for this year, we're still going to be dealing with, I think, the long-term effects. I want to look at that. Are they going to get more information about how to treat long COVID? Because I talked to some nurses, and one of the issues that they treat other people for, that's still going on, is long COVID. They don't tell me much more about that. They're really good. They're very professional. But yeah, just to be aware of it. And yeah, we got to wear the mask, and it's serious. Some people still have long COVID. They are some of our clients. So, like, take it from me. I'll share it with you. Let's see. Are they going to come up with more effective means of treating long COVID? There are some people that it just shuts them completely down. Is there going to be any breakthroughs for treating long COVID? Wow, I do get the Wheel of Fortune. So, yes, there will be some breakthroughs coming. That's very good news with the Wheel of Fortune. There's a change coming. And time is often involved in, and so that can be that can be a completion of a year, of a cycle of units of time, of measurements of time. But eventually, you know, it catches up, and there's going to where it looks like we're getting to a shift that's coming, where we're going to have more information. Yeah, there's a new path with the Fool. um, I think very experimental, very much yet looking at risks too, things that they just don't know about. So, but I do think that there's a new path and a new means coming out to affect long COVID. And I think they're open minded with the Fool as well. It's an open platform of ways of treating it. Okay. Warning of something came in December 2019 when a Canadian Health Watch organization found the parking lots of hospitals in Wuhan abnormally overloaded. I think more people too are watching, frankly, places like Wuhan. Unfortunately, that's not just the one place we need to watch. There's other places somewhere we haven't heard of yet, but I think people have our ears perked up, and that's good. I believe that we need to be aware and proactive, and not wear ourselves down with worry and terror, because it's never helpful. But just be proactive and do what you can do. And I look at this. This is really good. I do see some sort of breakthrough in treating, I think, long COVID. We get the Wheel of Fortune and the Fool. We get the Ace of Pentacles and the World, and it will be successful. And long COVID, the World, the full circle. It makes me feel like it is addressing it and saying there is going to be treatments, probably different medications, so on and so forth, and therapies with the body. And I think in treating the whole body, not just parts of the body. There's still some stuff, though, behind the scenes with this. It's just not out there yet. It's going to be discovered, though, to do with treating it with the Chariot that's going to be successful. So I think what it looks like then is that they're going to start to figure out how they can help people perhaps break out of the long COVID issue. Many people, anyway, maybe not everybody, but many people, I'd say, it looks like from these cards. And it would be significant, though, with the World. And with the High Priestess and the Chariot, I think that is eventual success in overcoming it. But I feel like the past, and for children, there's a real struggle. The past shows a struggle, still dealing with something from the past, and also maybe children still dealing with, if they had it, maybe it's through the studies or through something that's done. Yeah, because it's showing me illness and the exhaustion, in particularly the mental fog is crushing, it would indicate, and you just be spent. These are the type of cards that I get for me with, well, not quite this, well, yes, but in a different way for me with my health thing. It's just when you have absolutely no energy when you're dealing with something really severe. But this is like full on. You want to be careful stuff. And it looks like they will look into it and get something to treat that long-term debilitation. Because basically these people sit in a room and they are just totally incapacitated, and they've had to walk away from active lifestyles and jobs and so on and so forth, having any kind of life. This will be a game changer coming up. It's a lighter mood. They can do more with their family. Maybe their earning will be back on, able to support their family. So, and the health, looks better as well. So I think they will come up with something. And again, maybe through children's studies or something like that. Oop. COVID-19 first appeared on a small scale in November of 2019. Yeah, you know what? I remember that. And I remember thinking, And I was listening. And I had the dream probably, I know I had the dream sometime before February when it really popped out here in the States and, was going crazy. Let's see. I was going to look at public topic. Oh, and I want to look at the economy. I'll go ahead and pop over to that and end out this live at probably about a 2-hour mark. For those of you that hardcore enthusiasts, the long-suffering subscribers here, thank you. Can I have a big thumbs up from you guys? I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Now let's take a look at this because this is very worrisome. I've been watching one of the things since I'm stuck to this, bed situation is the noticing of how many more like downtowns, what I was saying about, are in many states closing up, and it just doesn't look good. My dream, I said it earlier, but it was about COVID, and it was about waking up and remembering who we are. And I wish I had the energy to be able to go back and timestamp this, but that's just started happening right before COVID. Then I had, and it's like it's never anything I conjure. It's not something I'm controlling. It's a message that comes to me, and it's like I'm just made to listen and experience the feelings and whatever. And it was like when the dream about COVID came, it was like a dark, ashy wind tornado. And it had all these different ashy looking wisp of outlines of forms of people and pets and stuff. It was insane. And I could feel the strain from the power of it, that it was like a flooring energy that was coming with this disease. So like nothing people had ever experienced before. And I even did a reading where I was seeing it, and I would have to go back and mark it, but it's here somewhere prior, where I said, yeah, and it looks like people are going to start getting really, really sick. And it's going to be the kind of sick where they say, oh my God, I have never been that sick before. And it's in a video here. So I do try to give people the best steer I can. And sometimes what I get isn't always through the tarot. And I will let you guys know if I have one of my dreams. So now I have a channel, even though YouTube does funny things to my subscriber numbers, and has kept me at this same number pretty much. It's so weird. For the last 3 years, I've noticed other people have like their channels. If they live somewhere else, they're like off and flying. It's like, I wonder about the regional parts of the YouTube machine and who gets their channel more traction. That's definitely something going on a level of different places and different people controlling different aspects. They do that. I can feel it. Oh, that's interesting, JR. So I will try and keep you guys clarified. And if you're not sure, you can. I'm glad that you asked, but I would also say just play the beginning as well. I'm going to go ahead and go on into looking at the economy and about a living wage. It's not even a living wage, but it would be nice to have a wage where we could really thrive. And not all of us are going to be rocket scientists. But we should have a wage that where we can afford to buy a house for our families, and to take care of our older and younger in the family. So just about the dream thing, the last one I had was the COVID one. So we're still in the shadow of that. And just remember, like the cards just kind of touched on for this year, just be very proactive. Take your vitamins, keep your hands washed, wear your mask, try to get good sleep, make sure that you're drinking water as well. Try not to run yourself ragged, because the flu right now too is absolutely butt kicking, and that can still take people's lives. So that respiratory stuff is no joke. You can have pneumonia and not even know it, and that can suddenly cause you to pass. I was just reading about pneumonia, because I was reading about Kim Porter. Anyway, let's look at the economy. Don't get me started. Is that ever going to come back? Are we going to go toward that where we can have a more balanced situation? Because it just seems to be disappearing, and it is. People like out here pay over half their wages for rent. It's ridiculous. But that's a housing situation. But the thing is that this is something that can be changed. So, there's an answer. So I'll touch on the last question of the evening: the economy and the wage. Is that going to improve? Are we going to get or is Wall Street going to get a shake up and a wake up? Because we need a reset. But we don't want anything that's a shock to the system. Affordable wages perpetually under the boots of corporate greed. Exactly. And what I want to see is, are we going to start seeing more resistance in a real manner to this? Because we know that that's what's needed. And we know that it's possible. But are people going to get off that especially are in position to do so and do what they were come here to do? Or are they going to fail in their earthly mission? All right, let's see. let's take a look. Huh. Well, we get the PTSD card, along with theft and, underhanded criminality type of stuff. And we're definitely at a point in place where people feel exhausted, and they feel a bit worn out and a bit oppressed and tested. But they're also sick and tired of their boundaries being pushed and the strain of the life. And they know, this is the don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Absolutely. I know what time it is. I know what you're doing. And I'm, fixing about ready to come after you. You're on my last nerve with your foolishness. Now look at this. This is interesting. This is about choices. And it's about, again, we need to look at choices where we make, and of course, our votes and where we put our money and our support. And I'm being shown more independent, entrepreneur type of energy, unique type of talent. And everybody has, well, we do. We each have something that makes us unique, But what I'm getting here is more independent type of work. And with the economy, it's about, in New York City, working on a minimum wage full-time job. Yes, right here. This way I can read it better. Can't afford a one-bedroom apartment and monthly bills. Something has to change. Exactly, right? And this is good. I do see that even despite the crap, we are going toward it. People want more choices, and they want good choices. And they're going to make it, they will, I think, be inventive at the end of the day and take the money with them. And this is more entrepreneurial stuff. And I'm getting the energy of unique branding and entrepreneurial energy, creative in the economy. But it's not going, I feel like it's going its own unique little route. That's interesting. And that's hopeful because there's that open thing of there's choices that people are going to make that are, I think, kind of maybe a little bit unconventional. And they are more independent with that Nine of Pentacles. And it has to do with the well-being, not just can I pay my bills, but do I live in a clean environment that I feel comfortable in? What, is the neighborhood like that I live in? Do I have a bit of greenery? Do I have a bit of peace of mind? What is my life like? Is my health good? Is this job got a future like this? So there's also looking for that variance. And I just think people are going to support more entrepreneurial work at this time. And I do see, this, there is loss. Things, not everything is in the toilet, but some things are lost, yes, and gone. And we have to eventually move on because we're going to be able to move on. And again, it is about honoring something more light energy wise, and with children too, with this card. Let me see what else I get with that. Also with the Lovers, that's couples. To me, this is a combined income. And where I'm getting a message of where a couple can have a comfortable living. But you don't want to have worries where children are concerned. Maybe they can't afford to have kids at this time, holding off. What else? Yeah, there's a real push toward the independent entrepreneurial ways here that I'm getting. And I get, people starting businesses. So the problem is being able to maintain it, because look at the challenge. It is really a taskmaster here, and people have to use everything in their toolbox with that magician. Also communication. I think it's also people conveying that they're sick and tired of their situation at work, that it's tenable. Kind of like, what was it, Taraji? I can't know if I'm saying her name right, where she's not being paid enough for the films. That's just something. Yeah, the corporations that can't afford to give people a decent wage, yet the corporate CEOs receive millions as the golden parachute. I think they're going to start to find some of this being, interestingly enough, and I know it sounds crazy, but I think people really are tired of it. And I think we are going to start to chip away at that corporate greed crap. And they're going to see more businesses that are independent, and maybe couples that are starting businesses. Um, and doing, I think, but it's like the couples are going to figure significantly in the economy as they support the economy more. Um, but and children, there's something about that. I'll just have to, and its losses. Maybe that they might lose. One of the things might be a loss of business, economy wise, daycare, things like that. I'm just getting a vibe with this economy that I'm just looking at 2024, not like forever. If I just want to see if we're shifting, and I do believe we are shifting, and I think it's largely couples, and with the two. Let's see. Well, this would be people also with families, looking at the prospect of families as well. Yeah, and it's definitely become hard, I think, for them. So we're looking at that being pulled into like daycare and stuff like that coming back in. But I do think we are going to stand up against the machine. And I do think it's through entrepreneurial work. More people perhaps leaving the field, and they've already been doing it, of the work that, like, who's going to be the waiter and waitresses at your favorite restaurant and that kind of thing here in San Francisco. I do see people trying to stand up and fight back, and but it's a challenge. This economy is challenging, and I think we will start to see a change, but this year still looks tricky. there's this kind of retired energy here around. This could be, hey, this could be Joe. He's my King of Cups. Now this could be him. Either this is peace of mind, or he's not active in something, or he's possibly also healing. So I want to look at that. And I am looking at economy, but in our economy. But I want to see what he's not active in or needs to beef up or whatever. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. Talk about reading the economy. He needs to strengthen it. So maybe he's going to start, he might have to be poked a bit here. There's definitely, look at that. That's not a living wage. That's you getting your check, your paycheck. You know, I'm sorry. Please, sir, can I have some mimosa? It's sad, but like the cards are even saying it's not enough. They should be. Look at them. Look how they're dressed. This is the well-heeled individual, and we have to address issues of class. We do. This is why the greed of the corporate class. But look at them. They've just stepped out of the opera, and there you are, wanting your pay for working for their company or whatever. You're holding on. And I think, yes, they are going to learn that their pay is not sufficient. And I think by the strength card, and that is people starting to figure out ways that they can take action that is nonviolent, to, I think, bring that old spotlight on these different places. And I think with America being like sick of it, this will be a bone of contention that comes up. It's the wage packet. It's a piddly Annie wage packet, and that they need to do better. Needs to be more humane, because more people are going to the food banks. It still doesn't look great, but there is something coming to those that had their head in a hole. With the tower, I don't like seeing the tower when it comes to economy, but it's coming, and it's meant to, I think, deal with people that aren't in touch with reality. It's also meant to say you have more than the choices that you're making at hand. You have better options. Use them. Rebuild. So there is going to come something with the economy. We need to watch that this year. That concerns me. Now you got my attention. Now you got my attention. Yep. Look at that. That's true, JR. Many couples aren't having children because of their financial situations. And it's very expensive to care for a child, diapers and so on and so forth, and daycare and all of that. But look, so this is someone that's not with the program, not paying attention, living in dreamland. And that to me is the corporate class, because it doesn't hurt when they get money. The people that get these measly piddly Annie paychecks, I can't, the tarot is like not playing around. Let me show you that again. These were the two cards that came together. Look again. Here's your paycheck. Look at me. I've got my house in the south of France. And you can eat those stale saltine crackers you got left in the back of the cupboard. The people have had it. And something's going to give way. And it's time to get real. And we have the Queen of Wands. And I think this is consulting, a woman that's consulting. I see, this could be Kamala. She's a fire sign, but it could be any woman that might even be to deal with our economy that I'm not aware of. But I see there is wisdom that is going to be sought. There's going to be something that happens that's a bit of a shock to the system this year with the economy. Those cards do concern me. Not a joke. And it's a stunner. But this gives me some hope. This is somebody, looking to advice, looking for wisdom. And I see a feminine energy here that is quick-minded and responds quickly. Oh gosh. This is about the greed. So there is something coming that's going to affect the economy. Now, with that Tower card, it could be an act, again, of some kind. I don't know. But it would be something that would get your attention, economy-wise. That concerns me. That could affect it. But this is sudden action. I feel like this is a woman investigating something or looking closer to with the wisdom of the Hermit. I don't feel like this is necessarily this is someone withdrawing. I feel like this is someone actually looking into something with wisdom. And then when I get the cards of corruption and abuse of power, and maybe there's something with the economy that this comes up. We'll just have to keep it in mind. There's a sense of disconnection, and the Page of Pentacles. That's intriguing. This to me would be like the Page of Pentacles feels very much like the job market and new employees and that kind of thing. I kind of get a vibe like that off of that. But there's a disconnect card, which is not helpful, next to that Four of Cups. Maybe it's a strike, as well, by certain places that really will affect the economy. It looks like there's some drama coming. Yes, there's the Five of Wands, but there's also the Hangman. There's a hang-up or a delay. Because there's fighting, there's arguing, there's dissension, there's a friggin' hot mess, and there's a need for looking at it objectively and not just out of emotion or out of ego. Yeah, that's definitely concerning. So I think there's going to be more disruption. And it could be, people taking it out, on their work scenes and things like that. It could unfortunately come out people's frustration in perhaps more acts of, people losing their stuff and acting out in a bad way. The strength of anything is determined by the weakest link. Well-fed and cared-for workers. Yeah. And it also, that increases morale, when you do that. But they've taken the shortcut to make themselves richer and richer each year. And now here recently, it's just been insane how much they've made in profit, that 1%, compared to the rest of us. And there's more of us than there is of them. And we are all living a very different life, than this frankly, very corrupt 1%. Now, does it mean everybody in the 1% is corrupt? No, but it means a lot of them are, because that devil energy doesn't come on there for no reason at all. It comes on to say something stinks, and there's corruption, abuse of power. So I think we're going to have some explosive things come out, or in connection to employee work, the workplace and economy. And I think probably my guess would be people losing their cool. That was a very stunning thing. But that might be necessary in order for us to reset. I want to take a look at that again. Maybe I'm going to go with a different deck. I know what I'll try. I will try the deck that I was showing you guys earlier to read on the economy. All right. Mix it up a little. Will we start to resist and let these corporate creeps poisoning this world will we take back our power and set the world in just the right way? Come on, damn it. Now, I know that doesn't unfortunately work here so quickly in this world, but just to know that we're turning the tide. You know what I mean? Now, let's see about the economy. What do we need to know about the U.S. economy 2024? Okay, that's what I'm just going to say. U.S. economy 2024. How does that look? U.S. economy 2024. U.S. economy 2024. Okay. We get the scarab. And that symbol, I know, in this deck is something about like life everlasting, rebirth, something that lasts. It's an everlasting principle. Or here we go, my handy dandy list of their meanings. And this is, again, the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle. And it's by deviantmoon.com. All right. And I am going to look at number 88, scarab, and I'm pulling with it candle, number 47. Okay. Let's see if this makes any sense or not. See if we, it's a brand new deck that I'm just cracking open. So sometimes you gotta read with them a bit to kind of get your energy in there. Well, candle is spiritual enlightenment, hope, and life. That's good. And scarab, rebirth, renewal, regeneration, immortality. Okay, eternal cycle. Well, it's about cycles, and so I think a sustaining cycle. I think that there is hope. That's good, but I think there's going to be a lot of frustration. But this is hope, and it is about getting our economy going in a better direction. That's a good sign. So spiritual enlightenment. I think also people are starting to, like I was saying earlier, kind of wake up and go, hey, this isn't right. What's going on? So I think this is people valuing their time, their life here, and I think starting to make changes where their employment is concerned. Yeah, because rebirth, there's renewal. I think that that's hopeful. There might be some new growth in the economy with renewal and regeneration. But I think there is something weird coming up. And I saw that tower. We get harp and girl. Okay, let's see. Harp, 69 and 4. Okay, the child, the girl is like innocence, carefree thoughts, this is youthful emotions. Youthful. Harp. Music. Sure. I like this deck. I do like this deck. I do like using it. You kind of have to give decks a chance. You know, sometimes certain decks are better for certain types of readings, but this one, I found like I can resonate with it. Let's see the harp one though. 69. Peace, serenity, rejuvenation. So that's good. We are getting 2 signs there of rejuvenation. And even that tower, you know, is about rejuvenation. But there is a kind of a reset that comes with it that can be painful with the tower. Because the tower, you are clearing all the BS, frankly, and removing nonsense. It also can be disruption to the economy. And sometimes certain events can disrupt economies. And that's why I was concerned, if you get my meaning. This looks like, though, in general, we got 2 signs of regeneration for this year. And maybe for younger people, maybe youth. This is interesting. We have axe and coin. How interesting to get that of all the ones I could. Oh, but axe, when you get it here, I hate to say that, to speak too soon, can be conflicts, disputes, estrangement, cutting something, or someone down to size. But it also can be progress. Let's see. I don't know. Not if you're cutting money. 50. Let's see. That's the number for the coin. Yeah, hopefully the market won't. I think it's going to get a good shaking. There will be a new beginning. And I think we'll actually use it to our benefit to rebuild on a more solid, thoughtful foundation. That's the good thing with the lemon of the tower of a time. You know, it's a uncomfortable, upsetting, many times kind of a disruption, but it's so that you can change the things you need to change and rebuild with something that's been revealed that you weren't aware of, you know, that can be very disruptive. So it looks like there's some kind of disruption, but there's regrowth. There is some kind of conflict, disputes. You know, and I think the cutting down of wages for real, the shrinking of the wage compared to the, you know, the inflation. 50. Let me see. What is it? I was just right on it. Coin. Here we go. Yeah. Wealth, prosperity, gaining better position in life, materialism. I kind of, let's see. Blood house. That, no bueno. It can be a difficult one here. Let's just see. To me, the house is like family, home. What are they going to attribute this? I just want to see what they get. Make sure. And to give this deck some air, so to speak, let people see it. For all you tarot readers out there and oracle readers. Okay, let's see. 28 and 8. Oh, it's on the other side. All right. Well, blood, of course, is life, vitality, sacrifice. Yeah, and with the axe, There's been the sacrifice of wage. With the house. I wonder if that's like with mortgages and things like that, the market, the housing market, and that suffering though. I think it's still, or will it come up with vitality with this blood? Let's just see. I'm going to pull a few clarifiers. Let's see. House was 28. Yeah, the house is a personal identity, family, stability, a safe place. Yeah. It's our homes. And for me, with the economy, it would be the housing market. And this would be but maybe there will be more vitality in the market. They're going to have to come up with, because they've been shrinking the wages. So that housing market, it could also suffer sacrifice. So door and hand. I still feel like there's an opportunity with the door, the choices. Is that right? 33. Yeah, opportunity, entering new situation, choices with this. Okay, and 12. Giving a hand, receiving help, skills for a purpose. That's work, using one's skills for a purpose. Well, it looks like there's going to be some more options for work, but it looks like there's still an issue, I think, with wages that feel like they're smaller. I feel like when I see this in the home, it just feels like your money isn't covering the expenses, for the house and so on. It's looking at that. So we're looking at, they need to, and I think they will be looking at the fact that our wages don't. They need to catch up this year. Just looking at this year, that comes on the agenda. And that the fact, it shows that, people aren't being paid. It's not just your imagination, but your paycheck. You're not crazy. Every job you go to, there's got to be a change, because there's going to be some crisis coming up. That's for sure with that Tower card. I will look and see. Is like, will the market crash? Will the market crash? 2024, is the market going to crash, or is it just like an isolated event that's a shock? It's like, I know 2024 is a year of reckoning, though, too. A lot of what is hidden in the dark come to light. The key and mirror. Let's see, 21, 24. Okay, key is freedom or solving a mystery, keeping something safe. And 24, reevaluating perceptions. Keeping something safe, and also, but to me, freedom or imprisonment, resolving a mystery, keeping something safe, and a mirror is also a reflection of the self. And self-reflection, reevaluating. And vanity, any extras. I think people are going to be a little tighter on some of the spending. For real, with this key. Also looking at, how much money they have, I think, free, so to speak, and looking at their budgets. So I don't. Is it going to crash though with this? 20. Let's see. 21, 24. I'm looking at also the numbers. What's a 3, 4? There's something that we didn't know about. I think that's going to come out. You know, with that tower card that we saw earlier, because resolving a mystery with this key, that there's something coming. And a mirror. I don't know that it's going to necessarily. There's going to be something that gets our attention. I don't know if it's going to crash or not, but there's some event that does cause us to reevaluate things. Maybe how the fact that our economy is based upon, ridiculous speculation and whatnot. Because this is like some truth coming to light, and we reevaluate something regarding things. So I think there is something coming. Oh my God, arrow and trumpet. 64 and 48. Okay, and then I will close this down. Well, the trumpet, spiritual vibrations, communication with the departed and awakening. It's meaning the tool that they used to use, by the way. Oh. An arrow, 64. Setting goals, success, sending messages. I think there's going to be disruption. But there's an awakening that's supposed to come with it. That's interesting. And often with the tower, there is awakening attributed to it. So the cards that we got in the tarot and what we're getting now are kind of echoing each other. And I feel like there's also some kind of safety, looking at safety. I think he's definitely going to try to affect it. Yes. DT. I'm sure the Trump name is in there for a reason. I'm not for nothing. But I think there's also something about like some kind of security with that key. With the economy and self-reflection that needs to be done. There's the chalice and ribbon. Let's see. 24, 59. Thanks for being so patient with me because I'm just at a relaxed pace. But these cards are intriguing. Okay, well, the ribbon is festivities, happy times. It can be a formal occasion. And innocence, a symbol of hope and feminine beauty. Okay, and chalice, festivities. That could be a clue towards a time, holidays, that kind of thing. That's something I want to look at. Okay, 40. $40 is chalice. Yeah, abundance, celebration. So that's really feeling like we're looking around holiday times. Dreams and aspirations yet to be achieved. But it's also about abundance with the chalice. All right, so, and there's a feminine energy with the ribbon card. Women and the economy. And what they share or bring to it. Festivities. Well, that's a time when people spend a lot of money. Or when sometimes they don't. But it looks like there's enough, to get like next Christmas and so on. But I still am concerned that there is some kind of event that isn't going to have some effective, definite pause and reflection and a concern for, like, did we lock the door? Did you turn off the stove? Are things, is this your charge on the card? Checking stuff. I don't know if it's what that is, but security, it could be issues with places, ransomware, that kind of stuff. I could see that kind of thing happening. That could be particularly stunning, and where we need to rethink and look at upping our security, in our financial uh, business places and stuff like that, because that also affects our economy. Oh, that's interesting. Moth and auriculum. So this is foreseeing the future, so to speak, with the auriculum and moth. Let me get to that 43 and 29, and then I will finish up. I can't help it. I'm relaxed. I would just be doing this offline anyway. 29. The moth is transformation. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right. And then 43. This is also just how I start to learn a new oracle. There are some insights that are coming. So I think it's a way of letting us know that there are prophetic glimpses into the future here with this, and searching for answers. And there's going to be some transformation, the sudden insights. I think people are going to start maybe consider feeling like having intuitive feelings around this as well. Maybe around what could be coming that is disruptive to the economy this year. There is something. So just keep an eye on it. Yeah. But I know that umbrella means like protection, and we have dragon. So I think we're going to be okay. But it does look like there's some form of an attack. Maybe it's on our financial institutions or something like that. But it looks like things are pretty well, but it looks like they need to be a lot tighter security wise. Lighthouse and Saturn. Just want to see those. If you guys got to go, it's cool. Is it the year of the dragon? That's fascinating. See, that's why I love having you guys in here, because you can point that out, and then everybody else that comes along to sees this later can read your comments if they didn't catch the live, and they can go, oh. Or they might come and think and put something in the comments later. Oh, Kitty is sneezing. Okay, that's interesting. We have umbrella, that's protection. Dragon 84. It can be fierce. Let me just get that 84. Yeah, magnificent power, strength, courage, honor. Yeah, good fortune as well. We are going to be protected, and I think also divine, and protection when we get it like that. It's not only our own, but I think a greater powers that be, like saying, okay, that's enough. Then we got Lighthouse and Saturn, and there's something about that lighthouse. One of my kids is coming home, and Saturn is, it says it can be untamed enthusiasm. It can be adversity at times. It can be hardship. It can be playful, curious, but we get Lighthouse And I think there was some kind of adversity. There's going to be some kind of adversity. Let's see, it's 63. The lighthouse is the strength to weather storms, something to help you navigate through troubled times. So it does look like somebody's going to try some nonsense. But the good thing is these two came out so tightly together that it was like, whew, we're really going to thank our lucky stars, because there's something that I see a protective energy coming in and making sure we're okay. It's the wooden dragon. That's interesting. And then we get owl and we get fetus. So, and again, this could be around those issues, if you know what I mean. But I feel like, also keeping in mind this is a new beginning with the fetus and the owl, is the wisdom often of an end, like new beginning. It's definitely carrying that rejuvenation. That's very interesting to get that in our economy. But apparently the message wanted to come through, because I've never seen them, I've seen messages like that, and that's one that's usually like, we'll be looking back and going, that's what that was. um it's keen observation as well with the owl. I think that we'll be more watchful than guarding our economy. We've got some strength in there, and that's good. But there's some funny business. Somebody's going to try some funny business. And there's going to be a change with that moth card. And it's, looking at the future. It's in using foresight, using intuition, and making sure things are secure with the key. And I think, we'll be okay. But there's, watch for some drama. It should be interesting. The economy itself is kind of a facade. Yeah, a good economy doesn't benefit everyone. Maybe the truth about wealth distribution is about to be exposed. Perhaps so. Perhaps in a way that is a really aha moment. Year of the Dragon. So it's fierce energy. It's the card of strength, and remembering who you are, knowing your strength, right? You're confident. Dragons are. My husband's a dragon. I think he's a water dragon, though. A Saturn return is the opportunity, that's right, to put into action what we have learned by experience. And it looks like we have an opportunity to do so, to respond to that. And it looks like we tighten up also awareness of watchfulness of people trying to mess with the economy, because it does look like there's some kind of your daughter's a dragon. They're cute. I like dragons. All right, let's see. Okay, you guys. Thank you for staying with me this long. It was fun. I will eventually have another surgery. I'm not so sure about this surgeon. I might have to get another opinion. So I've got nothing nailed down yet, and I'm not even sure yet about the surgeon I'm going to speak to my primary care. That's something I wanted to let you guys know about also. So that's still up in the air, and I'll let you know when I get more details, because I think maybe I need to get another opinion. I'm a wabbit. I'm an earth monkey, and it's great to see you. Thank you. It's nice to talk to you all, and it's nice for see the familiar names and some new names here too. And thank you all so much for hanging with me for 2 hours and 40 minutes. My word. But that's what, maybe I'll do some more nighttime ones here and there, because I kind of like to do the nighttime ones here, because sometimes at this time, though, I'm honestly half asleep. But this was good to do. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thanks for letting me amble and mamble and go through this deck with you. And you guys take care, and I'll keep you in the loop about if I'm going to be in surgery and having to be in the hospital and all of that. I might have to. So, anyway, definitely have a surgery coming. And I think I'll probably have to have some in hospital time. But I'll keep you guys in the loop. All right? All right. Take care. Bye.